So I am just again starting the session, starting the recording here. Some of you are still not muting. So mute yourself always. Make it a make it a habit of muting always. Okay. So we started again. Like recording is going on, and this is saving the previous listing. Meeting controls. Returning back to that. So essentially now, like as you can see here, here's the screen. So when you say Java followed by L search, so here you need to specify only the name of the file without the extension. Whenever you are running Java L search followed by what you want to search for. 100, let us say you want to search for. It is there in the index number 9. You can also print like if you want, right? So there is hardly any big logic within this. So slowly, all of you may have to start falling in line. Like, for example, what is the actual code that is there here? So this is the actual program, the logic program. Like, there is this. So it is a straightforward thing. Once you slowly understand the general structure. So public class name, curly brace begin. From here to the corresponding end of the curly brace, you have what? L search has got two methods. L search method is there, main method is there, right? So mute yourself, mute yourself. So somehow any number of times you will tell, still happening. Okay. Okay, so there are two methods like, so L search static method and main method. And whenever you run what? Whenever you run here, like this, Java L search 100, what happens? This is the actual command. This is what is called as command. And what is the actual command here? Java followed by L search. That is the actual command. What are the arguments passed on to that particular program or command? Starting from here, 100, and any other data that you follow. It can be anything. It all depends upon the program. So right now, in this case, you are assuming that you are passing on an integer. So that's why you are converting here. Integer dot parseInt of args of 0. By any chance, you forget to actually supply this data. Then what happens? Because here integer dot parseInt of args of 0, whereas you are not supplying anything. So there is nothing like args of 0. There is nothing is there in args of 0. Whereas you are trying to parse it. Then you will get naturally an error, right? You should get an error stating there. So as you can see here, exception in thread main. Array index out of bounds exception. Because you are trying to access it through 0th index. But there is no item there in the 0th index. And it is saying there is a line number 15. Line number 15 has got an error. You are trying to do something. So you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15. 15 is this particular thing. This is a line where the error is. You are trying to access args of 0. And you are not supplying. Whereas you supply some, instead of supplying a number, you supply some acid or something like this. You will get a different error, right? Because there is an item is there, but the question is you cannot convert that into an integer, right? You are actually asked to pass an integer, whereas you are passing an acid as a string. And you can see here error message, number format exception, right? You are trying to convert acid into a number and you can't convert that. It is an error. It is an exception. Exceptions we have not talked much about, but so any errors or that kind of thing is called here as an exception, and it raises those things and you will get these things. Whereas instead of this, now you supply some 5 there as a part of it. 5 is not found in the array, as you can see here. This is the actual array. 5 is not there, but minus 5 is there. So if you want to pass on even that minus 5 there and all that, you can say Java else search minus 5. Minus 5 is found at the index number 3 in the array. So here 0, 1, 2, and 3. This is the index 3, where it is actually located. So you have developed small method there, like. So how did we develop? Public static int. See, remember, whenever you develop any method will have a name. You have to give a suitable name. And this method ultimately, after doing all that, it returns something. What kind of thing that it returns, you have to decide. Because here now it is, you are assuming that it returns the index where that item is there. That index is naturally going to be an integer. So you say here int here. This is the return data type. Data type of the return value of this particular method. So you are designing your own method, what it should return and all. And it is a static method. It can be called from any of the other static methods. You don't have to create an object to actually call this. Static methods can be invoked without creating objects of that particular class or whatever. These are the Java language basics. So slowly all of you have to catch up. It doesn't matter whether you are EEE or ECE. All of us are human beings. We have the necessary skills to understand anything. But you have to put that extra effort. Put aside saying that I belong to EEE or ECE or something. And then make an effort to learn. And then exhibit. Raise questions at the earliest possible time. Not at the end. Okay. So here you can...
Gade. Abba.
Malay. హలో, ఎన్నిసార్లు చెప్పాలి మీ అందరికీ? ఓకే, ఎక్కడ తిరుగుతున్నారో అర్థం కాదు. మీరు మొబైల్లో చూస్తున్నారో, ల్యాప్టాప్లో లాగిన్ అయ్యారో, ఈ కోవిడ్ కాదు కానీ. సో దే ఆర్ సో మెనీ ఇష్యూస్. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఇస్ అ మెథడ్ బేసికలీ. మెథడ్ ఆర్ ఎ ఫంక్షన్. ఇన్ సి లాంగ్వేజ్లో అయితే ఫంక్షన్ అంటాం, అంతకంటే ఏం లేదు. ఆల్ ఆర్ వన్ అండ్ ద సేమ్. సో ఎల్సెర్చ్ అనే మెథడ్ ఆర్ ఫంక్షన్ మనం రాసాం. అల్టిమేట్గా ఇట్ ఈస్ రిటర్నింగ్ అన్ ఇంటీజర్. దీస్ ఆర్ ద పారామీటర్స్. ఫస్ట్ వన్ ఈజ్ అన్ అరే ఆఫ్ ఇంటీజర్స్. సెకండ్ వన్ ఈజ్ అన్ ఇంటీజర్ వాల్యూ. థర్డ్ వన్ కూడా ఇంటీజరే. సెకండ్దేమో మనం ఏం ఐటమ్ అయితే సెర్చ్ చేస్తాం అది. థర్డ్ వన్ ఎన్ని ఐటమ్స్, ఫస్ట్లో ఎన్ని ఐటమ్స్లో సెర్చ్ చేయాలి. And then within that there is a like logic, local variable declaration for each one of them. If item is double equals items of I, return I, right? And whenever it completely exhausts the entire array or whatever, it comes here. Then we know that it's not there. So you say return -1, right? So now can you say like, maybe I don't know like whether I made any justice there. So can like, so make an attempt, like probably it's difficult with the kind of question that you raised. You're like, I cannot satisfy in 10-15 minutes answer, no doubt about it. But the question is, make an attempt on your side and so on. So any questions other than that? Feel free, like even though I am saying all that, in spite of that, you keep asking, but at the same time, you keep working. Both should go hand in hand. And I don't have any magic wand or whatever to just simply mesmerize and get something. Any questions then? Feedback? The only thing what I am also doing is like I'm just making all these videos to be available so that you listen or watch to those videos 2-3 times, right from the beginning. If you have missed all of them, like what you can probably do is go through the videos once again and again and again, and then you must have some understanding. With that, if you ask relevant questions, I can probably touch upon like what you are thinking, where you are going wrong, that kind of thing. Okay, so this is what is called as linear search. Linear search ante enti manam, you are searching right from the beginning, every item you are searching. You are comparing with every item. But this can be improved. The search can be improved provided the data is arranged in one specific order. If the data is arranged in any specific order, then search can be improved actually. We'll take that particular example also, how to search a little bit quicker. You see, what is happening in linear search is that with one comparison, only one item is getting removed. And all the remaining items you have to still search. So if there are n items, then you have to actually compare n times in order to exhaustively search, in order to search all of them and say that no, nothing is there and all that. Whereas if the items are already sorted, a different logic can be worked out. A different logic can be worked out so that with one comparison, you can eliminate maybe half of the elements. You can eliminate every time half the elements with one comparison. Right? How it is, let us actually take a look into that. So in the binary search, you are assuming that your data is already sorted in a specific order, ascending order or descending order, that kind of stuff. ఎవరో వచ్చారు బాస్ నీకోసం, ఎవరో కుర్రోడు ఒక అతను, ఎవరో ఆల్రెడీ నిన్న ఏమైనా చెప్పాడో వస్తానని, ఏమైనా అట్లుందా? ఇప్పుడు కాదు, నువ్వు అక్కడికి పోయినప్పుడు ఇందాక రాకముందు వస్తారులే, హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్ తర్వాత వస్తారు సార్ వస్తా అని చెప్పాను. వెళ్తున్నావా? వైఎన్ వచ్చాడా? వైఎన్ వచ్చాడా? ఇంకా టైం అండి అయితే. ఇంకొక 10 minutes అడుగుతున్నారు క్వశ్చన్స్. నా దగ్గర ఇంటర్నెట్ లేదు పైన, అందుకని కిందకి దిగాల్సి వచ్చింది. పొద్దున్నే లేదు, మధ్యాహ్నానికి వస్తుంది అనుకున్నా కానీ రాలేదు. So binary search is like that. It requires the data to be sorted in a specific order, maybe either ascending or descending order. ఎవరు అతను కుర్రాడా? ఎవరు? Okay, so let us develop the other thing, binary search. So to that we can give a different name, B search, let us say. And now the signature of the B search must be slightly, we may have to modify it. Let us actually look into that, B search. So the items that you want to search is required. Item also is required. And how many items also is required. Same signature let us start with. It can be done either in a recursive mode or in iterative mode. To begin with, iterative logic we will develop. And after that, recursion we can think of. For example, now, like this data must be, to begin with, should be given in ascending order. So here, while giving itself, we will assume 12 is there to begin with, then 23, 45, 73, 89, 91, 97, 101, 124, and 500, something like this. You can assume the data to be in any of these things. So maybe Instead of leaving a space, then we can consume better like this. Like this. So there are some numbers are there, 3 plus C, 6 plus 4, 10 numbers are there altogether. 10 numbers, and same like you want to, what number you want to search for and all that. Search result, where it is located and all that. Else, instead of calling L search now, you have to call B search, right? And then marks of item come up. How many items? 3, 6, 9, 10. So 10 is there, no issue. So if it is there, it is there. It's not there, it's not there. So this is the same. But here the actual logic now you try to actually look into. That is more important actually. The logic is slightly different. That part we'll have to actually understand. So all of you know that this is available in the 0th index. This is available in the first index. And this is there in the, second index. This is there in the third index. Just to explain, I'm just writing all this. You will understand what we are actually doing. This is there in the 6th index, 7th index, 8th index, 9th index. This is there in this, and this is there in this. Actually, this is the index number. These are the marks, maybe, whatever. Right, something like this. Now, the actual logic in the binary search is that you will have to find the middle element, actually, middle element, mid position, mid index, you can say. So, to begin with, the items are there. The items that you want to search are there between 0 and this thing. For example, lower bound. So normally we call it like this, upper bound. The items that you want to search are there between 0 and 9th index. Right? These are the two indexes between which the actual numbers you want to search are located in the array. In the array of our logic, between 0th index and 9th index only, all the items are there that you want to search. So 0 is the lower bound, you call it, index of the lower bound, and 9 is the index of the upper bound. What we do is, we always find the middle index given the lower bound and upper bound. How do we get the middle index? By just simply adding this lower bound and upper bound divided by 2. Essentially, almost like you open a book, let us say, because all the page numbers are already sorted. When you print a book, you are actually packing all the pages in the increasing order of the page numbers. So if you want to open some 200th page, let us say, randomly somehow you open it and you look at the page number. If it is 150, let us say, then you know that 200 page is to the right of 150. And then open a little beyond that, right? If you are looking for 75, whereas you got 150 there, you search in the left this thing. Similar to that here, you actually calculate. You calculate the mid value here. So if 0 is lower bound and upper bound is 9, your mid value is you always get by just simply adding LB plus UB divided by 2. That is a simple formula. So 0 plus 9 by 2, it is 4, actually integer division. You get 4 there, right? So that means what we do is, let us say you are looking for a number like 45. You are looking for a number like 45, which is already there anyhow. How this search is going to happen, let us see. So first comparison will be like this. So the first comparison will be like this. So fourth index. So fourth index, what do we have in the marks of 4? 89. Whereas we are looking for 45. And the marks array is already sorted in ascending order. If the fourth index has 89, if the fourth index has 89, then all the numbers to the right of fourth index, they are all bigger than 89. Whereas you are looking for 45. So it should be, if at all it is there, it should be to the left of it. It should be in the smaller index than 4. So what is happening with one comparison, you are able to eliminate all these items from our further future comparisons. That is the advantage of binary search. With every comparison, you will eliminate, you need for comparing remaining elements. That is the advantage. Very quickly you can actually search for items there. So because mid of 4 is 89, so your lower bound still will be 0 only, whereas your upper bound will be 3 for the next item, because 89 is already compared. So your upper bound will be 1 less than your middle this thing. So for the next iteration, your lower bound is still 0, whereas your upper bound will be 3 for the next iteration. Now again you calculate mid for the lower bound and upper bound. 0 plus 3 divided by 2. 3 by 2 is 1 actually. So you'll get 1 there as a part of it. And then you try to compare first element, marks of 1. Marks of 1 is 23. So it is not matching. Whereas 45 you are looking for is, if at all it is there, it should be greater than 45 is greater than 23. So it should be to the next of that. It should be in the second half, not in the first half. That means your lower bound must be fixed to the middle plus 1. Your lower bound must be fixed to the middle plus 1. So as you can see, for the next iteration, second half means lower bound will be changed. Lower bound must be 1 more than the middle. So that's going to be 2 here. And your upper bound still is going to be 3 only. 3 only will be there. Only one of those bounds will change depending upon whether it is to the left or right. So again calculate mid. 2 plus 3 by 2. 5 by 2. 5 by 2 is 2 actually. Integer division you are actually looking for. Integer division is going to be 2. Now you compare the marks of 2. And marks of 2 here is 45. So this 45 matches with this 45. Because both of them are equal, you return the index 2. Return 2. Say that it's there. It is available in the given array. So like this, you can always work out, right, for any given items. For example, you are looking for something that is not there in the array, right? For example, you are looking for an item like 90. 90 is what you are looking for. How do you start with? The starting will always be lower bound 0, upper bound 9, because the entire array you want to search. And then middle is 4. So your mid of 4, like your marks of 4 is 89, whereas you are looking for 90. So if at all it is there, it should be to the right of this particular array. So right half means what? Lower bound will change. Your lower bound will be 1 more than the mid, this half. So here, for the next example, it's going to be lower bound is going to be 1 more than the mid. So it should be 5. Whereas upper bound is still 9 only. Same upper bound will continue. So for the next iteration, you calculate what is the next mid. Next mid is going to be 5 plus 9 by 2. 14 by 2 is 7. 7 is what it is. So in the 7th index, as you can see, you have 101. 101 is greater than 90. So it should be to the left of it, if at all it is there. Left of it means your upper bound must be changed. Lower bound should still remain. Upper bound is 1 less than the mid for the next iteration. So for the next iteration, it's going to be 5. And upper bound will be 1 less than the mid value. Mid value is 7 there. So it should be 6 here. It should be 6 here. So you actually look for the items between the index 5 and 6. So the next mid value will be 5 plus 6 by 2. 11 by 2 is 5 here. 11 by 2 is 5 here. So now you compare with 5. 91 here. 91 is not matching with 90. So if at all 90 is there, it should be there to the left of 91. Left of 91 means what? Your upper bound must be 1 less than the mid value. So for the next iteration, lower bound is 5 only, whereas your upper bound must be 1 less than the mid value. Mid value is 5. So your upper bound right now must be 1 less than, that means 4. Now, if you see here, when to stop this comparison, right? Only when, as long as you have the elements, you can compare. If you don't have elements, you cannot compare. So here, what are you saying here? You want to compare elements between index 5 and index 4. So your lower bound is greater than the upper bound. Whenever this kind of condition happens, that means if LB is greater than UB, indicates that the number or the item is not there. Item is not there in the array. So you have exhausted all of them, basically. So whenever this is the case, this case comes because 90 is not present within the array. 90 is not present within the array. So this is how the logic is, the binary search logic is, straightforward. Now we should be able to implement this particular entity. We should be able to implement this. So here, first of all, let me save this, save as, and then save it into bsearch, bsearch.java. So that is done. Now this main logic and all that is the same. Only here, this is the actual method. Now we have to convert whatever that we have written there. So what variables do you require now? Mid variable you require. Similarly, lower bound variable you require, upper bound variable you require. These are the things, right? And then how do you initialize? Your lower bound must be initialized always to 0. And your upper bound must be what? N items, first n items. So that means 0 to n minus 1. So your upper bound must be n minus 1. That's the upper bound. Now, like, what are you going to do it? So as long as you have the item, so that means while lower bound is less than, while LB is less than or equal to UB. While LB is less than or equal to UB, that means there are some items. All the items between LB and UB. If LB is greater, there are no items. Then you will get out of it, right? So here, what do? You calculate the mid value. Mid equal to, within this, LB plus UB divided by 2. You do this. And then this is not required. Now you compare. If the item what you are looking for is equal to the item that is there in the mid. Item that is there in the mid. If both of them are matching, that means what do you return? You return the index, right? So what index is it? It should be mid now. It should be mid. So whenever it is matching, you are returning. So another 10 minutes time, most likely we should be able to slowly come to that. So if it is not matching, one of them is likely to happen. Either item may be less than that or item may be greater than that. So next iteration, you have to take care of it. If item is less than items of mid, what to do? So if your items of mid is bigger, whereas your item is smaller, item what you are looking for is smaller. Smaller elements are always there to the left side. They are always there to the left-hand side. Left-hand side means your upper bound must be changed. So your upper bound must be changed. So upper bound equal to That means mid minus 1. Your upper bound is 1 less than the distance. Otherwise, else, straightforward. Lower bound must be changed. Your lower bound must be 1 more than the mid. So you say mid plus 1. This is what it is, right? So it is straightforward. While LB less than or equal to UB, find out mid value. If both of them are matching, you return the index. Otherwise, find out and then update either LB or UB and again go back. After some time, if nowhere it is there, then you may have to return minus 1 because it is not there anywhere as a part of it. So this is the logic for what you call binary search, right? Binary search. Any questions then? So here, main method is the same, no issue. Only logic that is changing here is the B search. Questions? Did you understand what we are actually talking about? Essentially, you are assuming now that your data is sorted. That's the reason why with 1-1 comparison, you are comparing always with the middle element. And then take a decision either to compare in the next half or in the first half. Is it clear now? Okay, so what you can probably do is, because I'm going to make all the videos available, you just take enough pain and maybe listen to that 2 times, 3 times, and still you have issues, you can raise, right? No problem. So now let us actually what it is, compile it, save it and all that. So here, just simply save it and come back to this particular thing and compile Java C bsearch bsearch.java. So there are some issues there. Item, SR and all that, those are all different variables, right? Because we have used probably bsearch class. Variable item is not there. Item mark kada, mark kana, right. So essentially look into line number 23, 25, 27. Those are the errors. Line 23, 25, 27. So come back to that. 23, there is an error. SR equal to B search of marks. Marks is there, but this is not item, right? This is mark actually. This is mark here. And then the other things are there as usual. So 25. So this is not item, right? Mark. కొంచెం మార్చాం కదా ఇందాక కొంచెం చెప్పే ప్రాసెస్లో that kind of error is introduced. Mark is the actual variable. So ikkada manam it all depends upon what are the variable names that we are giving to this particular thing. So save it. Again come back. Clear the screen and recompile. So compilation part is okay. But now we would like to run it. So before running, let me also show the program to you so that you can understand what is going on. This is the actual program. Now you say Java followed by bsearch. And then command line argument. What is the item that you want to search for? You have to specify. For example, 75 you want to search. If you see there, 20, 12, 23, 45, 73, 75 is not there, right? So 75 is not found in the array. You are getting that particular message. Whereas if you give the same thing like 89, right? 89 there, you give it. Then 89 is found at the index number 4. As you can see there, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the index. Right? So similarly, you should be able to, just because it is working for one index, it doesn't mean that it is likely to be. Always test the extremes also, whether 500 is there or not. 500 is found at the index 9. Similarly, the other index. This is how you should be able to test all possible ways. 12 also is found at the index this thing. So like this, the binary search algorithm is going to actually work. Essentially, we are not like learning too much of Java language and all that, only little bit. But still, if you can understand and follow these things, we can slowly enhance to the other levels of language and other issues. So go through all the videos, and then I don't think that you will have any issue, no matter whether you are from EEE or whatever. First of all, you should believe in yourself that yes, I can learn. And with that approach, then if you follow the videos and all that, there may be small, like what it is, misunderstandings or not able to follow certain things. Then if you raise the actual question, this is the place where I understand this way, but it is working like this, then I can help you way out. Oh, no, this is not the way you have to understand, but this is how it is. Then I can spend a little more time on a part where you have a doubt. But highly generic question, I am like this, nobody can help. Okay, so today then with this two examples, we can close the session unless you have any other questions. So I'm now waiting for your feedback. So if everything is all right, we can close the session. And yesterday's videos I have not posted. Today's also I have not. But today I will try to post them. So last feedback for today, this thing, if we can give it, we can close it. సో ఇంకా క్వశ్చన్స్ ఎక్కడ కనుక్కున్నా అలా అడుగుతున్నారా? మీ అందరికీ పంపిస్తూ కూడా ఉన్నాను. సో ఎసెన్షియల్లీ మెయిల్స్ ఐఎమ్ పోస్టింగ్. ఇప్పుడు వీళ్ళు క్వశ్చన్ వేసే వాళ్ళు ఏ బ్రాంచ్ వాళ్ళు? లెట్ మీ సీ, కొంచెం మీ బ్రాంచ్ కూడా చెప్పండి. సో దట్ ఏదైనా ఇప్పుడు మనకేంటంటే ఈ వాట్సాప్ గ్రూప్లో డేటా సైన్స్ వాళ్ళు లేరనుకుంటాను నాకు తెలిసి. కొంచెం లేట్గా జాయిన్ అయ్యండి వేరే వాళ్ళు, అట్లాంటి ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ కూడా ఉండొచ్చు. వాటిని అప్డేట్ చేసుకోవాలి మీరు సమ్హౌ. యూ జస్ట్ ఫాలో యువర్ అదర్ క్లాస్మేట్స్ అండ్ సీ దాట్. ఓకే, సో వీడియోస్ కావాలంటే ఇప్పుడు నౌ ఐ కెన్ షో యూ. ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ సింపుల్. లెట్ మీ షో యూ. YouTube lo, like YouTube Kelly, just simply type my name. Just my name is this, Thatti Srinivasu Reddy, right? And then I would say you will get my channel and all those related details. So this one, Thatti Srinivasu Reddy, this is the channel. If you're going to click on that particular thing, these are the initial videos and all that. Right, you click on videos or playlist kuda on. Playlist తీసుకుంటే better, sequence లో వస్తాయి. If you go to the playlist, you will get all the videos in the proper sequence. Class జరిగిన ఆ sequence లో play అవుతాయి.
Okay, good one and all.
So this is the actual what you call the link thing. ఇక్కడ కష్టం మీకు అర్థం చేసుకోవడం కూడా, but the best way is search for this particular name and then simply follow it. Okay, so we'll meet for the next session only on next week. Only 4 sessions వస్తాయి, చూద్దాం. So